on the old internet, I see a lot of comments and a lot of opinion on what's going on with AJ at the moment, especially in regards to his mindset. So I thought I'd give you my opinion. Before I do that, I want to go through a model with you because this is what I'm going to use. So it's called King Warrior Magician Lover. Now, what these are archetypes or energy systems. We all have them within us, but really it depends on which archetype is at the forefront, really dictates what behaviors or actions or non-actions you take. So we've got the King Warrior Magician Lover. Now, briefly speaking, the warrior is that part of yourself which is there's no quits. There's loads and loads of effort. There's loads of willpower, very forceful, aggressive, very intense. This is the warrior energy. The magician energy is very mystic, wise, intuitive, sees what other people don't see, a mystic, a master, a witch doctor. All these are magician energies. The lover energy is that part of yourself which just loves what they do, loves experiencing things, loves feeling, very grateful, loves life. So this is your lover energy. Now, the king is the king or queen, but with this energy, this is where you're very decisive, very integrated, serves others, very centered, provides order and bags of integrity. So this is your king energy here. Now, like with anything, if there's a left, there's a right, if there's an up, there's a down, there is a polar opposite. So there's a polar opposite with these energy systems as well. So like the warrior energy, this side of the extreme is your bully. Yeah, this is the person that loves to inflict pain on others. And this side is the part which likes to inflict pain on yourself or maybe self-sabotage. So this is the warrior part. And obviously where you're aiming for is somewhere nicely in the middle, very balanced. The magician, this side tends to know nothing. And this side is very detached manipulator there. The lover, this side, extreme version, an addicted, like having addictions, an addictive personality. And this side, very flat, depressed, impotent. Yeah, complete polar opposites. The king energy, this is where this side of the extreme is your dictatorship, right? Like an oppressive dictator of the king energy. This side, you're very weak, a pussy-hole, right? So this is the two extremes to the king energy. So you can actually cut these in also line that way and a line that way. Right. But where does all this go with the AJ? But let's use a different fighter because I think if we use Conor McGregor, it shows up easier to understand. So earlier on in Conor McGregor, he was the type of person, same with Muhammad Ali back in the day, he was the same type of person that would name the shot, name the round, and they actually called him the Mystic Mac. So he was obviously in this magician energy. Later on in his career, he shifted and went into this warrior energy. And this is when you're seeing him obviously lose a couple of fights, but just seem to be at war all the time with everybody, with himself sometimes. And you would see the trolleys going through bus windows. So he was in this warrior energy. Interestingly enough, he'd done some work on this and moved from the warrior to the magician again. And this is when he had that fight where he used the shoulder to knock someone out in the first round. Again, that's an unusual move. That's a magician energy move. So he went from the magician to the warrior, back to the magician. And I think maybe in his last fight, he moved back to the warrior again. But what does all this mean for AJ and Usyk, especially? Usyk's a good example because he will go step by step in each one on a run up to a fight. So when you see him a couple of days out, he's walking around with his daughter's teddy bear. Lover energy, most definitely. Right? Then you'll see him kind of joking, playing around, calls himself the White Rabbit, magician energy, definitely. Then you see him dress in Ukrainians' old kind of war suits, war uniform. Well, that's definitely the warrior. Inside the ring, he turns into the king. Okay, so he actually goes through each one and he lands on the one which is the most useful for him in the boxing ring. AJ, I would say, is a little bit of the opposite. I would say outside the ring, he's in this king energy. He's very decisive, very integrated, very centered. Then when he goes into the ring, he goes into this warrior archetype. It's not really working for him. And we know he's in this archetype as well, because when things don't go as well, which part comes up? It's this part, it's the bully. So this is where you see him maybe hit the last opponent at the back of the head after the fight or throw the belts outside the ring. So this is kind of where he lands when it's not working for him. So I would say that AJ needs to move from the warrior archetype into the king archetype. You could even add a bit of magician in there and see if that works for him. But this is what he needs to do, in my humble opinion. And you can ask yourself, like, where Are you consciously aware of the right archetype for the right job, for the right role? You know, is it working for you? Can it be changed?